Hello guys, welcome to another wheelie tutorial. This week we're going to be driving a Nurb GP BES WEC layout, so the fast chicane instead of the slow one. A much better track in my opinion. This is the kind of drop off you can expect. Start at high 52s but then slowly drop towards the low 53 range. That will be quite acceptable. So yeah, the Ferrari looks like a solid choice because of the high altitude, and it being a turbo car, it gets quite a big power buff compared to other naturally aspirated cars such as the Porsche or the Mercedes. On T1 we want to start braking at the 100 marker, and we want to brake in as much of a straight line as possible and following this wide line for as long as possible. So yeah, and this is a first gear corner as well, so yeah, but also don't forget to hit your apexes, so like get as close as possible to the curve on the inside using it as well. I'm using the whole curve on the outside here, as you can see, and aim for this bollard here on the right. Then second gear, stay in second for the second corner. Don't go any farther in the middle of the track, and yeah, take it easy on the brakes. Don't be too aggressive, because if you are too aggressive, you will lose the rear end, and it will be quite tricky to do this one properly. So the track falls away from you quite a bit. So yeah, the best line to take through here is as tight as possible and using the inside curve for as long as possible. And be careful on the outside with the off track and when the kick-off oversteer that you may get, and make sure you don't cross all four tires through the white line. So yeah, third corner, start turning before you start braking. You want to aim for this first part of the curve, so as soon as the curve starts, you want to be on it. Second gear, super tight, bit of a late apex as well. You can cross over the white line. As long as you don't cross over with all four wheels, you'll be fine. Then wheel straight as possible, aim for the left side of the track to open up the line for this right-hander. Still in second, just a little bit left, no need to brakes. And sector 2, stay as tight as possible to the right, and start to brake once this alternative layout ends, and you go back to this grass. You did this one in fourth, the first one, and then in second the right-hander afterwards. So fourth gear, pick up the throttle as soon as possible, full throttle of course, and start to brake a little bit before, like a car length and a half before the end of the curve here on the left. Second gear, bit of a late apex as well on this one. Yeah, just make sure that you don't touch the inside curve, because that will cost you quite a bit of time. Stay on the left side of the track for approaching the hairpin. The hairpin you want to do it in second gear, then you want to start braking a little bit after you reach this part of the curve that is covered in concrete, but it's still a curve. So yeah, 60% braking, 65 actually, between 65 and 70. Second gear, double apex corner, get as straight of an exit as possible and as much of a speed on the exit as possible as well, because it's a maximum throttle section after this one. So you can see there, like double apex or like a V-shaped corner. And here use the curve on the entry. Then use the one on the inside. Then use this one on the inside on the right. And use the AstroTurf as well. Be careful not to touch the inside gravel too much, because that will make you get a slowdown. Go back to the right side of the track for the next sector, where you want to be braking at the 100 marker more or less, and you want to do it in third gear. You want to carry a lot of entry speed, that's the key for this sector, and use this whole track, use the inside as well, like you can position the whole car over here, you'll be fine. Then pick up the throttle as soon as possible, move back to the left side of the track, then brake as close as possible to the grass here on the left. Try to brake quite a bit and pick up the throttle a little bit before the apex. Use the whole outside curve. Then move back to the right side of the track progressively and stay on the right for approaching the last chicane, which you want to do in fourth. You want to lift off a little bit. It's like a thicker part of this gutter here on the right that ends right before a 50 marker, and I start to brake right there. When it ends the thicker part, that's when I start to brake, and this is a fourth gear corner. I tried fifth and the car just dies out completely, so I recommend fourth. So fourth gear, so here, be careful of not crossing the white line with all four tires on the first part, and the second one you can cut quite a lot as well. And then here, as soon as you reach like a car length before the start of the pit entry grass here that divides the track from the pit entry. You want to start braking and you want to do it in second gear, and this is another corner where you want to stay as tight as possible. So yeah, second gear, super tight. Be careful on exit. Don't go over the. Don't touch the gravel on the outside because that will make you get an off track. And that's it, all the way to the start finish line. Hope it was helpful and see you on the next lap.